better knock the Mario coins out that motherfucker's belly. You hear me, boy? You better knock that. You better act like that motherfucker stole something. You know, when I come out there in the park and they playing with you, whoop a nigga's ass. To put that ass whooping on that nigga.
Blueface is literally in critical condition after getting absolutely demolished in a boxing match last night. And bro, his mom is completely crashing out on social media right now. But wait, it gets even more insane. Homeboy is claiming Adam Ross rigged the whole fight. I'm about to break down everything that went wrong, the weight controversy, the knockouts, and why the internet is going absolutely crazy right now. Alright, let me take y'all way back to how this whole mess started, because the backstory is actually wild. So check it. About 3 months ago, Blueface and rapper Ruga got into some serious beef on social media. I'm talking back and forth for weeks, calling each other out, threatening to pull up the whole 9 yards. What if I told you that their beef started over something completely random? Word to my mother, it was over a comment Ruga made about Blueface's baby mama situation. Next thing you know, both of them are on Instagram Live challenging each other to a real fight. And that's when the boxing promoters started sliding into their DMs. The original promotion for Blueface versus Ruga was actually crazy hyped. They had face-to-face interviews scheduled, press conferences planned, even got some legitimate boxing trainers involved. The betting odds were pretty even, which should have been our first clue that this was going to be a real competitive fight. But here's where the timeline gets interesting. About 6 weeks into training, Ruga starts posting less about the fight. His social media goes from daily training videos to complete silence about the boxing match. Meanwhile, Blueface is still posting workout clips, hitting the heavy bag, talking mad trash about what he's going to do to Ruga in the ring. Then, exactly 2 weeks before the scheduled fight date, boom, Ruga's management releases a statement saying he's pulling out due to contractual disagreements and creative differences. But sources close to the situation are telling a completely different story. I'm hearing that Ruga actually saw some footage of Blueface training and realized this dude was taking it way more seriously than expected. Like Blue was working with actual professional boxing coaches, sparring with amateur fighters, doing real cardio conditioning. Ruga thought this was going to be some Instagram Live type of slap boxing. But Blueface was preparing for war. So, now we got a promoted fight with no opponent. Thousands of tickets already sold, sponsorship deals locked in, and Aiden Ross putting his entire streaming reputation behind this event. The promoters are scrambling like crazy trying to find someone willing to fight Blueface on 2 weeks' notice. Here's where it gets absolutely bonkers. Instead of finding another rapper or celebrity who matches Blueface's size and experience, they reach out to this dude who's literally a semi-professional boxer. This man has actual amateur boxing experience, trains at a real gym, and weighs about 40 pounds more than Blueface. Let me break down exactly who this replacement opponent is, because the research I did on this guy is insane. His name is Marcus Heavy Hands Johnson, and he's got like 15 amateur boxing matches under his belt with an 11-4 record. He's been boxing since high school, trains 6 days a week, and normally fights in the light heavyweight division. Meanwhile, Blueface's boxing experience consists of maybe 8 weeks of training for the Ruga fight, plus whatever workout videos he posted on social media. The skill gap wasn't just obvious, it was dangerous. But here's the craziest part. When they announced the replacement opponent, they tried to market it like it was an even better matchup. The promotion posts are calling Marcus an Upand coming talent and a perfect challenge for Blueface's boxing debut. They completely left out the fact that this dude could probably knock out most celebrities in the first round. Social media immediately started calling out the mismatch. Boxing fans were posting side-by-side photos showing the size difference, comparing their reach measurements, breaking down their training backgrounds. Even casual fans could see this wasn't going to end well. But you know what the promoters said when people complained? Blueface wanted a real challenge, so we gave him one. Like bro, there's a difference between a challenge and feeding someone to a shark. Yo, fight week was when everyone should have realized this whole thing was about to be a disaster. The press conferences were already showing major problems. Blueface shows up looking confident, but you could tell he was nervous about the size difference. Marcus shows up looking like he could bench press a car. The official weigh-in numbers were absolutely ridiculous. Blueface came in at 168 pounds, which is actually pretty heavy for him. You could tell he was trying to bulk up for this fight. But Marcus, this man stepped on the scale at 211 pounds. That's a 43 pounds difference, which in professional boxing would put them in completely different weight classes. For context, that weight difference is like putting a welterweight against a light heavyweight. In real boxing, that would never happen because the smaller fighter would be at a massive disadvantage in terms of power, reach, and ability to absorb punishment. But here's what really got me heated during fight week. The betting odds. Initially, when the fight was first announced with the replacement opponent, the odds were pretty even. But as fight week progressed and people started seeing the weigh-in numbers and comparing their training footage, Marcus became a heavy favorite. By fight night, Marcus was favored at -350, which means you'd have to bet $350 just to win $100 if he won. Those are the kind of odds you see when a professional fights a complete amateur. Yet somehow the promotion was still marketing this as a competitive bout. The final press conference was where things got really uncomfortable. A reporter asked Blueface directly if he was concerned about the weight difference. And his answer was telling. He said something like, "Size don't matter if you got heart and speed." But you could see in his eyes that he knew he was walking into something he wasn't prepared for.
Fight card. I definitely wouldn't score that in unanimous decision.
Marcus, meanwhile, was super professional and respectful, which almost made it worse. He kept saying stuff like, "I respect Blueface for taking this fight, and I'm just here to put on a good show." You could tell he knew exactly how this was going to go down. Alright, let's break down this fight round by round because the progression from competitive to catastrophic was actually painful to watch. Round 1, Blueface comes out surprisingly aggressive. He's using his speed advantage, moving around the ring, throwing quick combinations. For the first 2 minutes, I'm thinking, maybe this won't be as bad as everyone predicted. Blue lands a few clean jabs, gets the crowd hyped, and Marcus is just feeling him out, not really pressing the action yet. End of round 1, you could argue Blueface actually won that round. Round 2, this is where you start seeing the problems. Marcus begins using his reach advantage, landing longer punches while staying out of Blueface's range. Blue is still moving well, but you can tell he's already breathing harder than he should be. Boxing conditioning is different from regular fitness, and 8 weeks of training just isn't enough. Marcus lands a few body shots that visibly hurt Blueface, and you can see Blue's confidence starting to crack.
You feel me? I've been in the gym working. Shout out Blueface, bro. You're a wonderful fighter. Where's the pro? Keep on grinding, gang. Keep on going crazy, bro. You gotta get some work together. I ain't sharp iron, bro. I feel me.
Already looking tired. His hands are starting to drop. His footwork is getting sloppy. And Marcus immediately recognizes the opportunity. Marcus starts pressing forward, cutting off the ring, landing heavier shots. There's one combination where Marcus hits Blueface with a left hook to the body, followed by a right hand to the head, and Blue literally stumbles backward into the ropes. Round 4, the knockout. This round only lasted about 90 seconds. Blueface is completely gassed at this point. He's breathing through his mouth. His guard is down, and he's basically just trying to survive. Marcus, being an experienced boxer, knows exactly what to do in this situation. He traps Blueface against the ropes and starts unloading combinations. The knockout sequence was actually scary to watch. Marcus throws a 3-punch combination. Jab to the head, hook to the body, then a massive overhand right that catches Blueface clean on the chin. But here's the crazy part. Blueface doesn't just go down, he goes down and backward. The force of that punch literally launched him through the ropes and onto the floor outside the ring. I've watched boxing for years, and I've never seen anything like it. Usually when someone gets knocked out, they fall in the ring. But Marcus hit him so hard that physics took over and sent Blueface flying. The immediate aftermath of that knockout was actually terrifying. When Blueface hit the floor outside the ring, he was completely unconscious, like not moving at all for several seconds. The crowd went from cheering to dead silent because everyone realized this was serious. The ring doctor and paramedics rushed over immediately, And that's when you knew this wasn't just a regular knockout. They're checking his pulse, shining lights in his eyes, doing all the concussion protocol stuff. Meanwhile, Marcus is in the ring looking concerned because even he didn't expect to hit Blueface that hard. It took almost 5 minutes for Blueface to regain consciousness. And when he did, he was completely disoriented. Didn't know where he was. Kept asking what happened. Classic signs of a serious concussion. The paramedics made the call to take him to the hospital immediately instead of letting him recover ringside. But here's where it gets even more concerning. Reports from the hospital are saying Blueface has been in and out of consciousness since arriving. That's not normal for a typical boxing knockout. Usually, fighters recover pretty quickly once they get medical attention. The fact that he's still having issues hours later suggests potential brain swelling or other serious complications. The hospital released a statement saying he's in critical but stable condition and they're monitoring him for brain trauma. When hospitals use the word critical, that means life-threatening complications are possible. This isn't just a regular knockout anymore. We're talking about potential permanent brain damage. So get this. Barely 6 hours after getting knocked unconscious, Blueface is somehow posting on social media claiming the entire fight was rigged. Like, bro, you just woke up from a medically induced coma, and your first thought is conspiracy theories. His exact words were, "Adin Ross set me up. The betting was rigged from the start. They knew I couldn't win against that dude, but they put me in there anyway because they had money on him knocking me out." Let me break down these allegations because they're actually pretty specific. Blueface is claiming that Adin Ross had inside information about the betting lines and bet heavy on Marcus to win by knockout. The promotion intentionally gave him an opponent they knew was too big and experienced. The referee was instructed to let the fight continue even when Blueface was clearly hurt. The whole event was designed to create a viral knockout moment for social media content. Now, some of these allegations actually make sense when you think about it. The size mismatch was obvious. The betting odds shifted dramatically during fight week, and they did heavily promote the potential for knockouts in their marketing. But here's what doesn't make sense. If Adin really wanted to rig a fight, why would he risk someone getting seriously injured? The potential legal liability and public relations disaster isn't worth whatever money he could make from betting. Plus, Adin's streaming career would be over if it came out that he was fixing fights. The conspiracy gets even weirder when Blueface starts claiming that his training team was compromised. He's saying someone on his team was feeding information to Marcus about his weaknesses and conditioning levels. Like, bro, your weakness was that you had 8 weeks of training fighting someone with 8 years of experience. Yo, if you thought Blueface's allegations were crazy, wait until you see what his mom did on social media. This woman went completely nuclear on everyone involved in this fight, and I mean everyone. Her first post was actually heartbreaking. She posted a photo of Blueface in the hospital with all the monitors and tubes, writing, "This is what they did to my baby for entertainment. Y'all sick for paying to watch someone's child get brain damage." But then she started getting specific with the call-outs. And that's when things got wild. She's posting screenshots of DMs, tagging promoters by name, even posting phone numbers of people she claims were involved in setting up her son. One of her posts said, "Adin Ross, you know you set my son up. You got rich kids betting millions on fights while my baby fighting for his life. I got lawyers and I'm coming for all of y'all." She posted like 23 Instagram stories in 2 hours, each one getting more aggressive than the last. She's threatening lawsuits, claiming she has evidence of the rigging, even saying she's going to expose how celebrity boxing really works behind the scenes. But here's the post that really got people's attention. She shared text messages that allegedly show someone from the promotion company discussing how they needed a spectacular knockout for social media content. If those texts are real, that's actually pretty damning evidence that they cared more about viral moments than fighter safety. The wildest part of her social media rampage was when she started going after other celebrities who commented on the fight. When Jake Paul posted laughing emojis about the knockout, she responded with a whole paragraph calling him out for making money off other people's pain and challenging him to fight someone his own size. Bro, you already know the internet was not going to let this slide. Within hours of the knockout, social media was flooded with memes, reaction videos, and hot takes. But the reactions were actually split between people making jokes and people expressing genuine concern. The meme side was absolutely brutal. Someone edited the knockout footage with Street Fighter sound effects, making it look like Marcus performed a fatality move. Another viral video added cartoon physics with Blueface bouncing off the floor like a basketball. But some of the most viral content was people breaking down the fight technique. Boxing YouTubers were posting frame-by-frame analysis of the knockout punch, explaining the biomechanics of how someone gets hit so hard they fly out of the ring. These videos were getting millions of views because people genuinely couldn't believe what they witnessed. Then you had the celebrity reactions, which were all over the place. Some rappers were defending Blueface, saying he showed courage for even taking the fight. Others were clowning him for the rigging allegations, posting stuff like, "Just say you got knocked out and move on." The most controversial reactions came from other boxing content creators. Some were criticizing the entire celebrity boxing industry, using Blueface's injury as proof that these events are dangerous and poorly regulated. Others were defending it, saying that all combat sports carry risks and Blueface knew what he was signing up for. But the reaction that really got people talking was from Marcus himself. He posted a simple message saying, "I hope Blueface recovers fully. I never intended to hurt anyone seriously. Boxing is a sport, not personal." The fact that he had to clarify his intentions shows how serious the situation became. Let me break down why this Blueface situation is actually exposing major problems with the entire celebrity boxing industry. We're talking about an unregulated entertainment business that's putting people's health at risk for viral content and betting money. First issue, matchmaking. In professional boxing, fights are sanctioned by athletic commissions who ensure competitors are evenly matched in terms of weight, experience, and skill level. Celebrity boxing has none of these protections. Promoters can literally put anyone against anyone as long as people will pay to watch. Second issue, medical oversight. Professional boxers get extensive medical examinations before fights, including brain scans, blood work, and cardiac testing. They also have mandatory rest periods between fights to allow for proper recovery. Celebrity boxing events often skip these crucial safety measures. Third issue, training requirements. Professional boxers typically train for months or even years before major fights. They work with experienced coaches, nutritionists, and medical teams. Most celebrities get a few weeks of basic training and think they're ready for real competition. But here's the issue that really bothers me. The financial incentives are completely messed up. Promoters make more money from controversial mismatches and viral moments than from fair competitive fights. So they have every reason to create dangerous situations that could seriously hurt people. What if I told you that some states are already talking about banning celebrity boxing events after seeing what happened to Blueface? California and New York are considering legislation that would require the same medical and safety standards for celebrity fights as professional bouts. The betting aspect makes everything worse. When millions of dollars are being wagered on these fights, there's massive pressure to create entertaining outcomes rather than fair competition that creates incentives for exactly the kind of mismatch we saw with Blueface versus Marcus. So where do we stand right now with this whole situation? As of this morning, Blueface is still hospitalized, but reportedly showing improvement. His team posted an update saying he's conscious and responsive, but still undergoing tests for potential brain trauma. The legal situation is getting complicated. Multiple law firms have already reached out to Blueface's family about potential lawsuits against the promoters, the venue, and possibly even Adin Ross himself. If they can prove negligence in the matchmaking or medical oversight, this could result in massive financial settlements. Adin Ross has been mostly quiet since the fight, but sources close to his team say he's devastated by what happened and never intended for anyone to get seriously hurt. Word is that he's considering stepping back from boxing promotion entirely after this incident. The boxing community is having serious discussions about regulation and safety standards for celebrity events. Several prominent fighters and trainers have called for mandatory licensing, medical testing, and oversight similar to professional boxing. But here's what's really crazy. Despite everything that happened to Blueface, promoters are still booking celebrity boxing matches. There are at least 3 major events scheduled in the next 2 months, including several mismatched fights that could end up just as dangerous. The betting platforms are also under scrutiny. Several major sportsbooks have announced they're reviewing their policies on celebrity boxing wagers after questions were raised about the Blueface fight betting patterns. And that's the complete, unfiltered breakdown of how Blueface went from confident rapper to hospital patient in one devastating night, and why this whole situation exposes everything wrong with celebrity boxing. This isn't just about one fight gone wrong. We're looking at an entire industry that prioritizes entertainment value over human safety. When promoters are more concerned with creating viral moments than protecting their fighters, tragedies like this become inevitable. The fact that Blueface is still fighting for his health while people debate rigging allegations and create memes shows how backwards our priorities have become. Someone's life was potentially changed forever, and we're treating it like a reality TV show. Real talk. I hope this serves as a wake-up call for everyone involved in celebrity boxing. We need proper regulation, medical oversight, and fair matchmaking before someone gets killed for our entertainment. The current system is broken and dangerous. But yo, if you learned something from this deep dive into celebrity boxing chaos, smash that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think celebrity boxing should be banned? Should there be stricter safety rules? Should Blueface family sue everyone involved? Let me know what y'all think. And if you want more coverage of celebrity drama and internet controversies as they develop, hit that subscribe button because I'm covering all the wildest stories the moment they break. Stay safe out there. Respect your health over entertainment. And remember, fights just aren't worth taking.